Wireless headphones are in higher demand than ever, thanks in no small part to a certain major manufacturer dropping a certain major port on their latest phones. But a lot of wireless headphones are really very expensive. The newer version of the headphones I've got here sell for over £100. Enter this pair from MEE Audio, but can you really get to this low of a price without making some major sacrifices along the way? My name is Stephen Potter, and these are the MEE Audio M9Bs. So taking a look at what's in the box, you'll find the headphones themselves, a short micro USB charging cable, a few sets of ear tips, and a little paper manual. Just about everything I'd expect, to be honest. Taking a closer look at the headphones themselves, they're fairly well built. Sure, they're made out of nothing fancier than plastic, but they feel really solid overall. One of the nicest features of these headphones is the pretty good inline remote. It's got 3 buttons from everything from media control to making calls, and it really didn't take me very long to learn the combinations required to make these actions. They're nice and clicky and responsive, and while it isn't too easy to tell which button's which by feel alone, the fact that this control unit will always be facing the same way up makes this less of an issue. There's also a red and blue indicator LED hidden behind these buttons to give you some status information. Now, while this does have a microphone built in, I couldn't get it to play nicely with my Nexus 6P, so I'm afraid I can't offer much of a test here. So the battery life on these is actually fairly good. Over my testing period, I'd typically use them for about an hour a day, and on a normal week, they could get me through to the end of Thursday without issues. Do note that I did completely power them off when I wasn't using them. While I do wish that they had just a little more juice so that they could get me through a whole working week, if you use your headphones a little less than I do, then this shouldn't be an issue for you. Considering the fact that the M9Bs charge using a standard micro USB connector on the device itself, and so you don't need to deal with crazy proprietary charging docks, I don't have very much to complain about in this department. Now, none of this really matters if you can't connect these headphones to any of your devices, and I'm happy to say that the Bluetooth component of the M9Bs operates practically flawlessly. From powering them on, it's generally only a fraction of a second before they're completely connected and operational with my phone, and while I've had a couple of instances of interference knocking out my audio for a second or so, they've never completely dropped the connection and quickly resumed playing like nothing happened. These things just work, and they work well. And so now onto this part of this review I've been dreading a little, the sound quality. So the first thing that I noticed when I started listening to these headphones is the very pronounced noise floor. While it'd be very difficult to hear in the louder sections of most tracks, the hiss that these produce is very pronounced, and if you're listening to a podcast or something along those lines, this might irk you a little. Moving on to the actual quality of sound produced, listening to Wanna Tell You by Safra revealed fairly well balanced bass, but it really just lacked the same level of kick I've become accustomed to. Similarly, in The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, it's not that the balance is off, but vocals just feel a little distant, and there's not that much detail. To be frank, if the actual quality of your headphones is massively important to you at this price point, you really shouldn't be looking to go wireless. You'll get far better sound at less cost going with something like the Soundmagic ES19S, but of course that is a wired pair. So yes, while I would consider the sound quality to be okay considering the product category and price, it's hardly a selling point here. So should you consider buying the MEE Audio M9Bs? Well, that really depends on what you're after. MEE Audio have managed to nail the fundamentals of making a good pair of Bluetooth headphones. They're comfy, well built, have good battery life, few connection issues, and just work, which is more than what I can say for 1 or 2 pairs I've tried in the past. But to me, that's just not quite enough to justify me using these on a daily basis for much longer, because the audio quality just isn't quite there for me. And that's really the question you have to ask yourself when picking these up. The headphones that came with your phone may actually provide slightly better audio quality than these, and while they are relatively cheap, the only real benefit you're getting over much cheaper headphones is that these are wireless. I've really enjoyed using a pair of Bluetooth headphones on the daily again, and even I can't deny that living a cord and connector free life has its advantages. But the M9Bs are a case of 2 steps forward for convenience, 1 step back for sound quality, and I'm just not quite sure if that's a step I'm willing to make. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.